Hello everybody, welcome back to the video. Today for you would be day 48, and I'm recording this a day in advance because I'm leaving for my tomorrow to go with my friend. And so yeah, I'm recording this at the same day as day 47, or for you it would be yesterday. But I read 5 chapters yesterday, so I finished with Deuteronomy, and now I'm starting Joshua. So I'm in chapter 1 right now. So Joshua chapter 1, I'll be reading chapter 1 through 4. So let's get started. Encouragement of Joshua. After the death of Moses, the Lord's servant, the Lord spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now you and all the people prepare to cross over the Jordan to the land I'm giving the Israelites. I have given you every place where the sole of your foot treads, just as I promised Moses. Your territory will be from the wilderness in Lebanon to the great river, to the Euphrates River, all of the land of the Hittites, and the west of the Mediterranean Sea. No one will be able to stand against you as long as you live. I'll be with you just as I was with Moses. I will not leave you or abandon you. Be strong and courageous, for you will distribute the land I swore to their fathers to give them as an inheritance. Above all, be strong and very courageous to observe carefully the whole instruction my servant Moses commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or the left, so that you will have success wherever you go. This book of instruction must not depart from your mouth. You are to meditate on it day and night, so you may carefully observe everything written in it. For when you will prosper and succeed in whatever you do, haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua prepares for the people. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell people, get provisions ready for yourselves. For within 3 days you will be crossing the Jordan to go and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you to inherit. Joshua said to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, remember what Moses, the Lord's servant, commanded you, and he said, the Lord your God will give you rest. He will give you this land. Your wives, dependents, and livestock may remain in the land Moses gave you on the side of the Jordan. But your best soldiers must cross over in battle formation ahead of your brothers and help them, until the Lord gives your brothers rest, as he has given you, and they too possess the land the Lord your God is giving them. You may then return to the land of your inheritance and take possession of what Moses, the Lord's servant, gave you on the east side of Jordan. They answered Joshua, everything you have commanded us we will do, and everywhere you have sent us we will go. We will obey you just as we obeyed Moses in everything. Certainly the Lord your God will be with you, as he was with Moses. Anyone who rebels against you, order, and does not obey him with words and all that you command him will be put to death. Above all, be strong and courageous. Chapter 2. Spies sent to Jericho. Joshua son of Nun secretly sent 2 men as spies from the acacia grove, saying, go out and scout the land, especially Jericho. So they left and came back to the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, look, some of the Israelite men have come here tonight to investigate the land. Then the king of Jericho sent word to Rahab and said, bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, for they came to investigate the entire land. The woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them, so she said, yes, the men did come, but I didn't know where they were from. At nightfall, when the city gate was about to close, the men went out, and I didn't know where they were going. Chase after them quickly, and you can catch up with them. But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them among the stalks of flax that she had arranged on the roof. The men pursued them along the road to the fords of the Jordan, and as soon as they left to pursue them, the city gate was shut. The promise to Rahab. Before the men fell asleep, she went up to the roof and said to them, I know that the Lord has given you this land, and the territory of you has fallen on us, and everyone who lives in the land is panicking because of you. For he had heard about the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 Amorite kings that were completely destroyed across the Jordan. When they heard of this, we lost heart, and everyone's courage failed because of you, for the Lord your God is God of heaven above, on earth below. Now please swear to me that the Lord will also show kindness to my father's family, because I showed kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father, mother, and brothers, sisters, and all who belong to them, to save us from death. The men answered her, We will give our lives for yours. If you don't report our mission, we will show kindness and faithfulness to you. And the Lord gives us the land. Then she let them down by rope through the window. Since she lived in a house that was built into the wall of the city, go to the hill country so that the men pursuing you will find you. She said to them, hide there for 3 days until they return. Afterward, go on your way. Then the messenger, we will be free from this oath you made us swear, unless when we enter the land you tie the scarlet cord to the window through which you have let us down. Bring your father and mother and all your father's family into your house. If anyone goes out the doors of your house, his death will be his own fault. And we will be innocent. But if anyone with you in the house should be harmed, his death will be our fault. And you report our mission, we are free from the oath you made us swear. Let it be as you say, she replied, and she sent them away. After they had gone, she tied the scarlet cord to the window. So the 2 men went to the hill country and stayed there 3 days until their pursuers had returned. Then they searched all along the way, but they did not find them. Then the men returned. They came from the hill country and crossed the Jordan. They went into Joshua, son of Nun, and reported everything that had happened to them. They told Joshua, look, the Lord has handed over the entire land to us. Everyone who lives in the land is also panicking because of us. Okay, it's halfway through now. It's weird. I'm so used to the live stream where the timer's at the top, and when I'm just regular videoing on this, the timer's at the bottom, and I can also pause this. So if there's an interruption, it's just a little bit different because I got so used to live stream. Okay, chapter 3, crossing Jordan. Joshua started early the next morning and left the Acacia Grove with all the Israelites. They went as far as the Jordan and stayed there before crossing. After 3 days, the officers went through the camp and commanded the people, when you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God carried by the Levitical priests, you are to break camp and follow it. But keep a distance about 1,000 yards between yourselves and the Ark. Don't get near it so that you can see the way before you go, for you haven't traveled this way before. Joshua told the people, concentrate yourselves, because the Lord will do wonders among you tomorrow. Then he said to the priests, carry the Ark of the Covenant and go on ahead of the people. So that they carried on the Ark of the Covenant and went ahead of them. The Lord spoke to Joshua, today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of Israel, so that they will know that I will be with you just as I was with Moses. Command the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant, when you reach the edge of the water, stand in the Jordan. Then Joshua told the Israelites, come closer and listen to the words of the Lord your God. He said, you will know that the living God is among you, and that he will certainly dispossess before the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Gerashites, Amorites, and Jebusites. When the Ark of the Covenant, the Lord of the whole earth goes ahead of you into the Jordan. Now choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, 1 man for each tribe. When the feet of the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant, the Lord of the whole earth, come to rest in the Jordan's water, its water will be cut off. The waters flowing downstream will stand up in a mass. When the people broke camp across the Jordan, the priests carried the Ark of the Covenant ahead of the people. Now the Jordan overflows its banks throughout the harvest season. But as soon as the priests carrying the Ark reached the Jordan, their feet touched the water at its edge, and the water flowing downstream stood still, rising up in a mass that extended as far down as the dam and a city next to Zarethan. The water flowing downstream to the Sea of Arabah, the Dead Sea, was completely cut off, and the people crossed opposite Jericho. The priests carrying the Ark of the Lord's Covenant stood firmly on dry ground in the middle of the Jordan, while all the Israel crossed on the dry ground until the entire nation had finished crossing Jordan. That reminds me of when Moses took the staff through God's power, was able to split the water in half where they walked through on dry land, and then it closed after everyone had gone through. Chapter 4, the Memorial Stones, the final chapter. After the entire nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord spoke to Joshua. Choose 12 men from the people, 1 man for each tribe, and command them, take 12 stones from the place in the middle of the Jordan where the priests are standing. Carry them with you and set them down at the place where you spend the night. So Joshua summoned the 12 men had selected from the Israelite, 1 man for each tribe, and said to them, "Go across the ark of the Lord your God in the middle of the Jordan. For each of you lift a stone in his shoulder, for one for each of the Israelite tribes, so that this will be a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean to you?' you should tell them, 'The water of the Jordan was cut off in the front of the ark of the Lord's covenant. When it's crossing Jordan, the Jordan's water was cut off. Therefore, these stones will always be a memorial for the Israelites." The Israelites did just as Joshua had commanded them. The 12 men took stones from the middle of the Jordan, 1 for each of the Israelite tribes, just as the Lord had told Joshua. They carried them into the camp and set them down there. Joshua also set up 12 stones in the middle of the Jordan, where the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant were standing. Stones are still there today. The priests carrying the Ark continued standing there in the middle of the Jordan until everything was completed that the Lord had commanded Joshua to tell the people, in keeping with all Moses commanded Joshua. Oh yeah, it says they're still there today. Just a reminder, that means when the person wrote it, like back a long time ago, it was still there when that person wrote the book. Not necessarily in this day and age, but for them, that day and age, it was still there. So, I mean, potentially could be there, but I have no clue. The people hurried across, and after everyone had finished crossing, the priests of the people crossed the side of the people. There were Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh once in battle formation in the front of the Israelites, as Moses instructed them. About 40,000, equipped for war, crossed the plains of Jericho in the Lord's presence. On that day, the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all of Israel, and they revered him throughout his life. As they had revered Moses, the Lord told Joshua, "Command the priests who carry the ark of the testimony to come up from the Jordan." So Joshua commanded the priests, "Come up from the Jordan." And the priests carrying the ark of the Lord's covenant came up from the middle of the Jordan, and their feet stepped out on solid ground. The water of the Jordan resumed its course, flowing all over the banks as before. Oh, I think they just are stuck together. Okay. The people came out from Jordan on the 10th day of the first month and encamped at the Gilgal on the eastern limits of Jericho. Then Joshua set up in Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken from Jordan, and said to the Israelites, "In the future, when your children ask their fathers, 'What's the meaning of these stones?' you should tell your children, 'Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the water of the Jordan before you until you had crossed over, just as the Lord your God did at the Red Sea, which dried up before us until we had crossed over. This is so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the Lord's hand is mighty, and so that you may also fear the Lord your God." So that's all the reading for today. I really like it, like in Joshua, how it's like actual stories, because like Numbers, Deuteronomy didn't feel like I was able to summarize it the same way as like these stories, because like I felt like I was just reading like the little black text above, what like every so often, just saying kind of like a general idea of what you're about to be reading. But it talks about like the encouragement of Joshua, and how Joshua starts to prepare his people, all the stuff they're supposed to be doing, like how the battle formations are supposed to get in, all of that, just being ready to cross over. And then it talks about how like he sent out spies into Jericho, and then they hid with this lady in her house and made an oath not to hurt her family when they come in to like destroy everyone else. And her like house was made into the wall, so they were able to climb down a ladder, because she told the people that were looking for him that they already left, and so they should hurry to find them when they hadn't left yet. So they ran out, and then the wall shut them out. And so after all that, like the oath was made not to hurt her family, Joshua and the spies, like they climbed out the window, and she put like scarlet yarn for them to keep their oath. But someone of their household left the house, while it was all being destroyed, then they could get killed and the death would not be their fault. But if they were in the house and got harmed, then it would be like Joshua in the spot, or in like all those in the Israelites' fault, kind of. And so then it talks about like crossing Jordan. I think it's pretty cool. Like just like when they crossed the sea, when Moses used his staff through God's power, was able to divide the water. But they took the Ark of the Covenant, and it made all the water just stop right there from the Jordan. And so they were able to cross into dry ground. And then once every single Israelite made it across, the water started flowing again. And so then it talks about how they started getting ready for battle formation after crossing, and then it was over. So yeah, that's all for today. Hope you had a good day so far. Have a great rest of the day. Remember, God loves you. Goodbye.